Well, welcome to Founder Files, episode 6. God, these are really going by fast. So, this is where I give you the scars, the lessons, unrefined, unfiltered truth about business, being a founder, and getting funded. So, this week, I'm going to talk about something I'm very familiar with, as most founders are: rejection. It's not a possibility when you're doing and building a business, and it's certainly not a possibility when you're fundraising. It's a guarantee. In the very beginning, aside from a huge amount of silence, deafening silence actually, of literally no response at all to anything you send out, you get a few rejections, outright, flat no's. And I'll be honest, the first few kind of sting a little bit. You take it a little bit personally. You think, well, maybe it's actually me. Maybe it's the business. Maybe it's my plan. Maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe I just got to pack it in, But you don't. As a founder, you literally never. You refuse to give it that, and you keep going. And that's when I was very fortunate to find some good people to support me on our journey. And I found Elizabeth, our guru. She was our advisor, supporter, biggest fan, sometimes counsellor, and she dropped some real knowledge bombs, some gems that came from time to time. I remember one time we got a rejection back, and she said, "Look, no is never just no. It's a chance to learn something about what we didn't do right this time." So we made it a rule to always ask for feedback. What didn't they like? Why not? And the weird thing is, right, you'd think it'd be obvious, but the secret is actually nobody volunteers that kind of information. You have to ask. So the one habit that we got into did two important things about asking was that it clarified whether they actually understood properly what we were doing and what we were saying. And if they hadn't, it gave us a chance to correct them. And sometimes that alone reopened the door for another go. And if they had understood it and still said no, then we learned something new about how another person in the outside world perceived our idea and how we'd put it down. And that was something that we could refine, reframe, flip it, change it, emphasize things better than next time around. And you end up with different versions of these, and you kind of start to map them and reconcile them onto the different types of people you're pitching to. So every no becomes a new iteration on your plan and your pitch. It's a step towards getting that little bit sharper. It's a step towards being a little bit stronger, more refined, more polished. We were kind of applying that 1% better principle without really realizing it at the time. But each rejection made us slightly better. The one thing I kind of relate this back to, I went on a course many years ago, Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of the habits is seek first to understand before being understood. So instead of just like pushing harder and with the same pitch, we stopped, we listened, we refined, we regrouped, we changed, we modified, we asked questions, we dug into what investors and the outside world really thought and what they really meant when they said no. And only then did we adjust and change our message if we really needed to. And that shift turned rejection from something quite painful initially into something really quite powerful. We almost actually looked for the rejections. Sometimes we did stuff just to get rejected, to kind of test things. And it's a tool that we could, always use to just get sharper and sharper every time. So that's one of those little things, knowledge things that you pick up throughout the years, and you go back and you think, it's only years later you think, actually that was relevant, that was useful. So yeah, always seek to understand before being understood. That's one thing I carry forward into the fundraising game. To wrap up, you do need resilience when you're going on this fundraising. It's the whole game, really. If you don't believe in yourself, though, no one else is going to. You can't expect strangers to. So keep polishing, keep refining. Rejection and no is never just no. The takeaways from that is no is never final. It's just feedback that allows you to change and improve. Always ask for it. Don't assume. Seek first to understand, and understood. So never assume, always ask for it. And just always, always, always remain resilient. It's not an option, it's mandatory. Rejection only wins if you give up. Remember that. And that's really it for the Founder Files this week for episode 6. Real scars, real lessons. I'll see you in the next episode.